Hi, Fun Recount here. Today, I'll be explaining an interesting Nigerian movie titled Played. Have fun watching. The movie begins with a scene where a guy called Jamal breaks up with his girlfriend because her nude which he had sent to him was used by another man to blackmail her of a huge amount of money. He bumps into a lady on his way out and tries having a conversation with her, but the lady ignores him. When he gets home, he tells his friend how he had broken up with his ex after scamming her of her 5 million naira, and they laughed about it, after which he tells him he saw another lady who looked very rich to him and that she was his next catch. In the next scene, he monitors the lady till he gets the opportunity to speak to her on her way out of a shop. Even though the lady didn't seem interested in having a conversation with him because he was a stranger, he insisted and stayed till the lady finally told him her name, that her name was Jessica, and also requested for her contact as well. Few days later, Jessica seemed to be enjoying her conversation with Jamal when her mom sees her and asks her who the person was, and she tells her how she and Jamal had met and why they were now friends. One day, her mom asked her to invite Jamal home because she has realized her daughter was really interested in him and was happy for her because she finally had a man in her life. That same night, Jamal tells his friend to borrow him some of his nice clothes because he was going to visit Jessica at her house and wanted to make a good first impression. He bought her some flowers which made her very happy upon seeing him even before they went inside her house. Jessica introduced Jamal and her mom to each other, after which they sat down to eat lunch together. The mom then started asking Jamal questions which made him really uncomfortable concerning his occupation and parents, and he told them that he was an engineer but both of his parents were late. One day, Jamal and his friend were playing game when they heard a knock at their door. It was a lady named Simi who Jamal wasn't so happy to see. Apparently, she was his girlfriend whom they had been dating for so many years, had come from the village to stay with him because she had gotten a job opportunity where he was in Abuja. He asked her to go back to the village immediately, but Richard appears at the scene and begs on her behalf for him to let her stay, that they could use her for something. Maybe she could even cook for them. At night, she will make sweet calls with Jessica on the phone right in Simi's presence, after which he will make advances as her as well. Jamal kept visiting Jessica from time to time and built a good relationship with her mom as well. In the next scene, he tells his friend Jessica wanted to visit him at home, but he didn't know how to bring her over because Simi was around, and they came up with a plan to send her back to the village. He later gave Simi some amount of money and asked her to go back to the village on Friday to deliver half of it to his mother. When the day arrived, he pleaded with his friend to make sure Simi leaves the house for the village on time and also clear of anything she might leave behind while he goes to get Jessica. Jessica, on the other hand, was having a conversation with her mom while packing her belongings, and her mom advises her to make sure she have fun when she goes to Jamal's house and even encourages her to be intimate with him. When they got to his house, Jamal introduced Jessica to his friend, after which he leaves them to have some alone time to themselves. After some time, they were having a good time when she received a call from her mom and excused herself to go speak to her in the room. Not too long after she left, there was a knock on the door and Jamal went to check, only to find out it was Simi. They sneaked her through the back door into the kitchen, and she told them when she called Jamal's mom, she wasn't around, and her manager wasn't also willing to allow her leave work just like that. Jamal pleaded with Simi to pretend she was just their cook in Jessica's presence and that she was nothing but a client and that he was doing it for the money, which both of them would later benefit from. When Jessica barged in on them and asked about the other girl, he lied to her that she was his friend's cousin who moved in from the village with them to cook for them. The next morning, Jessica joined Simi at the kitchen and asked her that she needed help to prepare Jamal's favorite food for him as breakfast. Jennifer will often join Simi at the kitchen and tell her how Jamal is treating her right and how romantic he is and all that, even though Jamal was scared of Simi because he feared she might say something or do something to her. When Jessica got home, her mom encouraged her to get a pregnancy test, which surprised her. That was when her mother reminded her of the fact that her plan all along was for Jessica to find a good-looking man, have a child with him, and then have a baby who will later grow up to take in charge of their family business. That the plan is not for her to settle down with Jamal because she had realized Jamal is not a good person for her, but just to have a baby with him and later marry someone else who will be capable of being a father and a good husband to her. But Jessica got upset because she had already fallen in love with Jamal and wasn't willing to have a baby out of wedlock. Jamal's friends later asked him his plans concerning Simi and what he was doing with Jessica and other girls. And he said Simi loved him, and since he knew Simi loved him, there was no way she was going to leave him for anything. And his family also knew Simi as his wife-to-be, so he was just using Jessica and the rest as clients to make money, after which he would settle down with Simi. One day, Jessica tells Jamal about a project she was working on, which was worth 2 billion naira. That same day, he bought a ring and told his friend he was going to propose marriage to Jessica, so that when she accepts, he will get a high opportunity of getting closer to them and standing a high chance of being asked to take charge of the whole family business because he's going to be her husband. Then you have his hand laid on the money involved, which is the 2 billion and any other money they have in their possession because they were very rich. His friend advised him not to move on with our plans because things was getting out of hand and that wasn't their initial plan. And also Simi was waiting for him, that he was going to break the poor girl's heart, but he was adamant and insisted on getting engaged to Jessica for the money as soon as possible. As time went on, Simi and Jamal's friend also grew closer and became very good friends. A few days later, Jamal proposed marriage to Jessica and she accepted. As the days went by, Jessica's mother also kept asking Jamal more questions to know more about him and realized from how he gave his answers that he was telling lies about so many things. In the next scene, Simi overhears Jamal's conversation with his friend and finds out he was going to get engaged to Jessica, which got her angry and she started questioning him about it. But Jamal overreacts aggressively, even to the extent that he tries to beat her. Jessica's mother also tried convincing her to just get Jamal to impregnate her so she can dump her and move on with her life because she had done some research on him and realized he was a scam and a fraud and didn't deserve someone like her daughter. But Jessica thought her mother just wanted to ruin her relationship with Jamal and get angry instead. The next day, Simi had packed her belongings and was leaving Jamal's house when she came across Jessica's mother, who pleaded with her to give her some information about Jamal because she needed evidence to prove to her daughter that Jamal wasn't a good person. Because Simi was already upset with Jamal, she opened up to the woman and told her everything she needed to know and everything Jamal had been doing to other ladies as well, and even promised to help her with any evidence she needed to get rid of Jamal. And surprisingly, Jessica's mother was even willing to pay her a huge amount of money for it. Simi went back to the house claiming she had forgotten something which belonged to her and went to Jamal's room and took all the evidence she needed to give Jessica's mother, which she could use against Jamal before leaving. Jessica had packed her belongings ready to leave her house to travel abroad to spend her life there with Jamal because she didn't want her mother ruining her relationship with Jamal when her mom presented her with the right evidence she needed to see that Jamal had been scamming other women for so long. When Jamal went to see Jessica that day, she aggressively had unprotected sex with him for the first time and also promised and encouraged him to sell his car because she was going to buy a new one for him, which made him very happy. The next day, she reported Jamal to the police and rewarded Simi for helping them raise evidence against Jamal for his bad act. She later gave her mother a positive pregnancy test result, after which she requested to travel out of the country, which made her mom so happy. Jamal's friend also proposed relationship to Simi and she agreed. Jamal, on the other hand, was on the run because the police was after him to arrest him, and he ran home to hide, only to find out Simi and his friend had started a relationship behind his back, which got him really upset. Played. The end. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you like this video, kindly give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos like this. See you on the next episode.